I am Tony Todd, and welcome to Throwing Heat. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Dr. Dan Ratner and Ross the Boss. Today's guest is a member of my favorite American League team, the Texas Rangers. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Taylor Hearns in the house. What's up, Taylor?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Doing good. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, yeah. Now, Taylor, I'm going to take you way back, man. We always start from the beginning on this show. And I heard a rumor. Is it true, growing up from the age of 4 to 17, that you participated in the rodeo? Is that true?
Yes, it's 100% true. That was the first sport I ever did.
What? But my other question is, what was scarier, making your major league debut or riding a bull for the first time?
Didn't ride bulls, but probably major debut over that 100%.
Why is that?
Because I had doing rodeo and competing. The event we did was tie down roping, so I I had been doing that for a long time. So I had been in front of thousands of people before, so that wasn't nothing new to me. But definitely up on a major league mound in front of thousands of people as well is a lot different. A lot different.
Now, how did you get involved in rodeo?
So with my grandpa, he was the first African American to go on a rodeo scholarship and to be a professional, and he was on the first African American to be on the JFK color guard as well. So he did it. My dad and his three brothers did it as well. And so once I was born, it was like, hey, that was the first thing. I mean, I still got pictures of, the first horse I got on was a Palomino horse that we had. And, it just took off from there.
Taylor, is this something that just everybody in Texas does? Like, everybody rides horses. I don't know. I'm from Cleveland, so I don't.
I think you've been watching too many movies and stuff. Cause like there's a lot of people here that don't be riding horses, but they're the funny ones that want to wear the boots and everything. And I love trying to bust their bubbles and be like, hey, if I put you on a horse, you think you do it? Oh no, I couldn't. I just like wearing boots. I'm like, oh,
okay. Do you
You're
still ride,
deal,
Taylor?
though.
Are you out there riding during the off season at least?
Every now and then. I haven't in a while. But that's something I'm definitely gonna get back into in the off season, just for it's relaxing to me. So it's definitely something that I'm gonna get back into. But when I was growing up, it was definitely something I was doing on the weekends and during the week. I mean, if I didn't have a baseball tournament that weekend, I was gone practicing Saturday and Sunday.
Have you ever got on the bull? I've seen the documentaries on those guys that get on the bull when they're young. I mean, it's kind of crazy how young these kids are when they get on those bulls. And they actually start with sheep. Have you ever done that before?
No, I hadn't. I haven't got on a bull either. We've messed around the house and rode steers. I never got on a bull, but I do own 3 of them though. So they're both 2-year-olds.
So how was it you ended up getting into baseball? Tell us that story.
So my parents basically just let me play all these sports and just let me pick. I was rodeo. So I went in this order: went rodeo, baseball, football, basketball. I didn't really pay much attention to basketball. Football was okay. I was a quarterback. I got a concussion when I was in middle school in 8th grade, so that kind of did it for me afterwards. And then when I got to high school, I just stuck with baseball. I still tell people to this day, I don't know why I picked it. I feel like I tell them, I was like, I honestly think God picked it for me, because I can't give you a logical reason why I picked baseball. And so, I just kind of figured as well that I thought I had a pretty good chance. I didn't really think I was going to be able to go pro in it. My biggest thing was, man, I just want to go to college, get a degree, and, just see how far baseball takes me. Maybe pro ball, maybe not. And then sure enough, get older, start throwing harder. Next thing I know, I start getting letters from scouts. And I was like, oh, wow, so might be getting pretty serious. And then end up, committing to the University of Oklahoma for baseball. So I was like, okay, so I do got a chance. They ended up getting drafted out of high school by the Pirates and didn't even pitch that year. So I was like, all right, I think I need to continue buying into this, but just continue to try to figure out, okay, how, like, I love this sport. But I honestly, it didn't really click to me till maybe I was like a sophomore in high school. So I was a sophomore in high school when it finally clicked. Because freshman year, I thought baseball was fun. I thought, yeah, I was a good lefty. I was like, yeah, I'll be able to go to college. Yeah, I used to throw hard and stuff like that. And then the velocity started coming. It was up to like 92, 93. And I was like, okay, well, I think I got a chance at this.
That's great. And you actually had your July. I don't know if you know this. Your ERA was like 0.57, was like astronomically low. And like you were the best pitcher on the Texas Rangers for the month of July. Congratulations on that. It's unbelievable.
Thank you, man. It was a lot of hard work, and I mean, it's still not done. I know we got 2 months, month and a half left, and I'm trying to still put up those numbers and try to put up better numbers. But honestly, it's a testament to all of our coaches, both of our pitching coaches. I've been working with them, and adding pitches and just working on certain things, and me just being open and honest with them and let them know like what works for me and what feels comfortable to me. So I think that's one thing I love about our pitching staff is that our coaches are open and they let us be ourselves. Where a lot of times teams are like, we have you pictured as this guy, so we want you to be this guy. Where it's like, no, like, you best, and like, we're going to let you be yourself. We're going to help you be that type of guy.
Yeah. And Kennedy's not there. Your friend Ian Kennedy was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, which I'm happy for him because now he gets to at least maybe he'll see some postseason. We'll see what happens with the Phillies. But how upset were you when Ian was traded? I mean, I know you guys were friends, and I know he helped you a lot being in the bullpen. Tell me about that.
He did. Me and him got really close because our lockers were next to each other. So I was really close to him. I was close to Gibby as well. But I got really close to Ian just because, like I said, our lockers were close. We were seeing each other every day, always talking. I was asking him a bunch of questions about guys he faced. What type of transition was it for him coming from being a major league starter with the Royals for so many years and then going out of the pen every now and then and stuff like that. So he definitely helped me out a lot. But I mean, just overall, man, it did hurt a lot because you're like, like who's going to be closing game for us now? We were in Detroit right before the trade deadline, and there was a fan yelling at us talking about, you guys suck so bad. Like, even I could come close for you after Ian leaves. And we were kind of just looking, we were laughing. We were like, who is going to be closing for us after Ian leaves?
Tell us.
That was kind of funny. Yeah, so we laughed about that, but it sucked when he left.
Now, speaking of close, you have a very close friend on the team in Demarcus Evans, who was on our show. He's a great guy, man. That guy is funny. Can you tell me just some of the funniest things that he has done in the locker room or just being around you off the field?
Well, I can tell you first, most we were playing we were playing some old school jams and some Luther Vandross came on. Big Luther, not little Luther.
Oh, yeah.
So he came on. But he came on, and I look over across from me and I see Demarcus over there dancing to Luther. Not here and now. I can't remember the song off the top of my head right now, but he was dancing. Like, you talk about a dude who is like dancing to any type of beat, whether it's rap, electronic, like anything. Like, the dude's like, dude has a high energy. I don't know how he does. I asked him. Somebody asked him one day if he drinks coffee. He said he never does. And it's like, man, I don't know how you do it.
And meanwhile, you seem like you're pretty chill, nice and relaxed, and you know your music. We found that out before the interview. But
yeah,
can you tell?
Yeah, Todd tried to try me a little bit, so I had to let him know.
Yeah, you showed your knowledge. I'll vouch
yes,
for you.
Yes, he did.
But I wanted to hear a little bit about what it was like to transition from being a starter to the bullpen. When did that happen, and how hard was that to do?
So that they kind of brought up to me during spring training. They said, hey, you're going to get some starts, but, we want you to piggyback. We had the big, I forgot what they called it, but it was basically piggyback system. So I was following Dane for a while. Then got to the point where Dane was going 5 innings every time. They're like, hey, we need to try to figure out how to get you some innings, whatever it may be. So then I go from a long guy to a short guy. And then, then as the season progresses, I'm steadily trying to find a routine and trying to work on things. And they would come up to me every now and then and say, hey, you're going to start today, or, you're going to get a start, or whatever it is. And I get stretched back out. And then told me today that I'm going to be starting tomorrow. So it's I'm not going to lie, man, it's a very tough transition. It takes a lot on your body. It's a hard thing to do because you got to have 2 different mentalities. But honestly, for me, just like you said earlier, like me being chill and how I am, like that's what I think the reason why I can succeed at it right now is because I don't get really too high or too low. Like, I'm not really an emotional type of guy, but it's definitely a tough thing because coming from starting the bullpen is tough because you're not coming in the first inning, like you're coming in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning, whatever it is. And then I know at one point, before I got stretched out, I was a guy that was like, hey, I'm either a bridge guy if the starter doesn't go that many, or we're going to extra innings, and I was always the ninth, 10th, or Kenny to be the ninth guy, and then I'd be 10th and 11th.
And you know what? You and I have something in common. We're both huge fans, and we got to spend a lot of time with Dusty Baker. And Dusty Baker was the Cincinnati Reds manager, and I'm a huge Reds fan. I don't know if Tony told you, but I'm a huge Reds fan. And one spring training, I got to actually go to his office, and we talked baseball for like 2 hours. And we actually hung out like the whole day, and we went to the spring training game. It was great. But tell me about your relationship with Dusty Baker.
So I actually met him when I first got drafted by the Nationals in 2015. One of my managers, Michael Barrett, took me over there because he played under Dusty. And I remember first time ever meeting Dusty, I told him, I was like, man, you were sitting in your office with long johns on with a toothpick in your mouth, and you were just like, come on in. And so I was like, man, this guy's awesome. So fortunately, then, fast forward to right now, playing for the Rangers. First time I met him again was last year during quarantine, when we were playing, and I got a chance to really get to know him. And man, I mean, that's one guy I could sit and listen to him all day. I mean, that dude knows everything. I mean, he's been around the game as a player, manager, and just his like perspective and just how he thinks about the game of baseball. Like you don't see that much. You don't see that at all. Like guys like him, I really cherish those type of guys. I try to learn from them guys. I'm like, hey, Dusty, I know you're on the other side of the dugout, man. If you see something like I'm doing, let me know. He's like, no, I think you're doing pretty good. You keep shutting us out or whatnot. So he's like, just keep doing it. So, but no, man, he's a great guy, man. I love him, and I'm so thankful for him. And I told him I'm gonna try to link up with him in the off season. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, he's a big fisherman. I mean, him and his brother. I mean, he told me stories that they go fishing like all the time. So if you know how to fish, you should go with Dusty Baker. It'd be unbelievable.
I'm a real big fisherman. I mean, I think he's got a winery or something like that well in Cali. So I was like, I don't drink wine, but I was like, I'll definitely go fishing with you. So
that's great. And
now I wanted to ask you about, there was kind of a funny story. This is totally shifting gears, but you're flexible. We already know that. So Joey Gallo in May, he was rounding first and he fell over. You remember this?
Yeah.
And he could barely got back to first. So I heard that you and your teammate did something funny. I don't want to spoil it. I want to hear the story from you.
Yeah. So after that happened, everybody was laughing about it, obviously. And then Jose Trevino comes up to me and goes, "Hey, dude, we gotta tape that out." He's like, "We gotta figure it out." And I was like, "It's a pretty good idea." So we got a bunch of guys, and we had talked about it. Get the caution tape, get everything. We're gonna try to map out how he did it and everything. Got the helmet and the gloves. Everybody comes in the next morning and sees that, and we're just like, "Yeah, that's a nasty crime scene right there." So it was pretty funny because everybody was laughing about it, and I was like, I asked him, I was like, "That sniper got you pretty hard." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I wasn't paying attention."
That's great.
Now, Taylor, I dabble a little bit in stunts out here in Hollywood. Now, would you be up for this? I mean, they're always looking for, black stunt men that can actually ride a horse. In the off season, would you be up for doing something like that? I can reach out to my friend Tierra Turner and give him your name if it's all right with you.
I'll do that in a heartbeat. There's a guy I know. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it yet, but he actually just got done being a stunt double and doing some stuff in Yellowstone. So,
oh wow, great show.
So,
people compare me to Kevin Costner all the time.
When season 4 is coming out, though, so I'm gonna have to slide that in there one day.
Is that a TV series, Yellowstone?
It's with Kevin Costner, Tony. It's Yellowstone. It's an unbelievable show. It's
really good.
You can watch it on the Paramount Network, actually. You should check it out. It's done really well. So Taylor, with all these new rules now with pitchers and every inning they check your hat, they check your belt, right? And I mean, it's like every inning they check if you have anything at all that's illegal. I mean, does that affect you at all? I mean, do you think they're going too far, the MLB? What's your stand on all that stuff?
Has it changed a bunch of people? Yeah. But to be honest with you, I've never, ever used anything. Like a lot of my stuff, everything I do is just natural. Like I've never been a guy that uses any type of stick. I actually tried to use stick when I was in low A. They wanted me to try it out in low A and in a bullpen session one day, and I just didn't like it. So I've always just been a natural guy, and so I think, kind of benefited me a little bit, because I'm like, okay, well, these guys' numbers are dropping, make me even a better guy, So, but yeah, it really has that effect. You can kind of tell that guys' stuff is like dropped off a little bit. Guys a little bit more inconsistent, and so it's a tough thing. I kind of hate it because I was like, oh wow, it's about to expose a lot of people. So it's about to change the game.
Do the players talk to each other about those kind of things, or is everybody very private about whether they use this stuff or not? I'm just curious.
Oh no, they're very open about it. Very open about it.
Okay.
We'll talk to guys from other teams and stuff like that, even in the locker room, like guys that use it, and guys are joking like, man, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, or just trying to figure it out and trying to work ways around it. But it's like, hey, it's like it's kind of a new rule right now. So we kind of got to work around it. And I'm over here kind of looking like I don't use anything, so I guess I'm good. So I ain't got to worry about nothing.
It's just really interesting because, like, from a fan's perspective, I mean, and just when growing up and watching it and seeing like pitchers get checked on the mound and stuff, I always thought it was something that people were hiding. But really, this is a part of baseball culture. It just gets talked about, and it's just now you're having to adjust to the rules. So that's really interesting insight.
Yeah, it is because it's been something that, like you said, it's almost like sign stealing. That's been in baseball for a long, long time. And so like using all type of sticky and stuff like that. I know guys that whenever I was in college, they used it just to try to get an advantage. Everybody's biggest thing in college was, hey, I got to try to get drafted. I got to try to make my stuff as nasty. I got to try to throw a little bit hard and get in pro ball. Guys like, okay, I got to figure out how to get to the big leagues. Like, okay, they want my spin rate on my slider to be, it's at 2,100, but man, if I use the sticky stuff, use enough of it, I can get it up to 2,500, get extra, 3-4 more inches of vertical horizontal movement on it. So, it's definitely a competitive advantage, but now that they took it away, it's kind of, like I said, I hate to say it, but it's kind of exposed people though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're noticing it too. We're noticing some of the pitchers their ERAs are going higher and higher ever since they did this whole thing. We can tell. We knew who they are. You don't have to mention any names. I was kidding about that. So I have a question. Well, I want to know what happened the day the Pirates pulled you aside and said, "Listen, we got some bad news for you." And you're like, "What's going on?" You've been traded to the Texas Rangers. I mean, I know inside you were like really happy, but outside you had to like show some remorse. Tell me that day when you found out you were traded to your home state of Texas.
So we had an off day and we were leaving the next day to go play Tigers AA Erie. And it's me, Stephen Alames, Braylon Jackson, Key Brian Hayes, Jason Martin. All of us are in the same room together.
Same room. Oh, you guys shared a room? That many guys in one room?
No. It was like a big apartment. It was like
okay, got it. I was a little nervous.
So I'm knocked out, and Stephen Alames, like, I can hear him. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Man, we just made a trade." And so I look on Twitter, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Yeah, there's like Pirates made a trade and stuff like that." I look on my call log and I got 4 or 5 missed calls from my farm director, like 3 from my agent at the time. So I'm like, what's going on? Cole Tucker comes over and he's like, "Somebody over here get traded?" He's like, "Cause I know there's like 3 or 4 prospects over here. So like, I know probably one of y'all got traded." Or like, everybody's like, "No, my phone's dead. No, I don't got nothing. I don't have anything." And I look at mine. I'm like, "I got something." They're like, "We'll call him back." So like, I call him back and it's like at 2:00. And he's on the phone with me, Larry Broadway, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? I didn't wake you up by any chance?" I'm like, "No," and I'm thinking in my head, it's 2:00. Like, dude, I was knocked out cold. I'm like, bro, I'm tired. So he's like, "Listen, I mean, long story short, he's like, man, I really hate that. We really didn't want to give you up." But he's like, the Rangers insist that, you need to be in this deal. They're like, "Man, I just want to say you've been such a really great professional and like just how you've been, how you carry yourself, how you're always a good teammate." But he's like, "Yeah, we're sending you to Texas." My heart drops. I'm just like, okay. He's like, "All right, so you'll be expecting a call from JD and Bannister at the time." And I'm like, all right. So I'm like panicking. I'm like, so I get off the phone with him. I'm looking down at my phone. I'm looking on Twitter. Everybody's trying to guess at who's got traded and stuff like that. And I'm just like, little did they know I'm about to leave. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for a phone call. I didn't even tell my mom and them yet. I'm waiting for a phone call from JD and them. So I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there and I hear JD on the phone and his Bannister in the background. He's like hyped up. He's like, hey man, I'm so happy we got you, man. I heard a lot of good things about you. I know you're excited to get back home. And I got off the phone with them and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm really about to go back home, like play for my hometown team. I'm like, this is crazy. You know, and what's funny about it was me and my dad had talked about it earlier that year. He's like, hey, would you ever want to come back home? I'm like, for sure. But I was like, I wouldn't want to do it till the end of my career, like towards the last couple of years. I'm like, it just probably is. Next thing I know, I'm like, well, I'm here now, early on in my career. And so it was cool, man. To be able to call my parents and tell them I got traded, I'm coming back home was awesome, because, my mom, she hadn't seen me play up until that point for like 2 years.
Wow.
So, so it was huge. And, they come to some minor league games every now and then, but, they want to be able to watch me play, not on screen. So, man, that was huge because I remember coming back and they told me they were going to send me to Frisco. And I remember walking in that stadium by myself. And I'm like, man, I sat right here in that section. I watched Chris Davis hit. I watched Jared Saltalamacchia hit in that seat. I remember Frank Francisco. I remember Julio Borbon. I'm like naming all these dudes I remember I seen play, and I'm like, I'm actually on this field with them. So it was so surreal. But man, to be honest with you, what was the icing on the cake was my big league debut. I remember walking in the locker room in Seattle, and I looked at my jersey. It had Rangers and my name on the back, and I was like, I've always pictured myself with another jersey on. But I was like, I knew the blue jersey, but I couldn't really make out what it was. And I'm like, here it is, right here, the Rangers. So, it's like it's a dream come true because I ran into Chuck Morgan yesterday at dinner, and I had told him about it on Twitter, but I was telling his wife, like, look, I've been listening to Chuck since I was little. I've been like, I know him. I've been knowing his voice. I'm like, to hear him say my name, something I've been dreaming about, and say it all the time now, I'm like, it's the greatest feeling ever.
That's incredible. But the only thing about playing at home is ticket requests, correct?
Oh, 100%. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
That is the worst part.
All of a sudden, you got these cousins named Tyrone and Abdullah, and some may go on the other side of the family, Julio, and next thing you know, hey man, we go back like hair grease. Can I get a ticket? Yeah, if you want to pay for it, People don't understand. They don't understand that, right?
No, they don't. And the thing is, like, a lot of people don't understand that as like. This isn't minor leagues anymore. Like, we get free tickets. This is major leagues. Like, we got to pay for these tickets now. So I'm real picky about giving them out to certain people. And, and like you said, like, I've had people hit me up on Facebook. The reason why I got off of Facebook was because of that, because I've had people hit me up, say, hey, can you give me some tickets? I'm like, dude, we went to high school together. I haven't talked to you in since we graduated. So it's like no disrespect, but then I'm just like, I'm not going to give you tickets. Like, so I always make sure my mom, basically my immediate family, everybody.
There you go.
Everybody's taking care of them like that.
We were trying to explain that we just had a kid here from Santa Monica named Connor Green. He left Baltimore Orioles. Now he's with the LA Dodgers. And tonight is his first day back. And I said, Connor, he was on our show. I said, just take care of your immediate family. That's it. Everyone else can buy the tickets. And because, he's making league minimum. He can go broke. That's
what I'm saying. And that's what I try to tell. I tell some people that I'm like, look, I get you want to come to games and stuff like that, but I'm like, to be honest with you, like, none of y'all really supported me. But then it's like you want me to pay you want me to pay for your ticket to come watch me play. So I was like, oh, that's what it is. I was like, well, last I checked, if you're not mom, dad, and sister, you ain't getting no tickets paid for, probably.
Well, I would say, I give you a clue when they call again. Say, do you want me to buy your beers and your hot dogs also, or do you want me to get you like a jersey and a signed ball? I mean, I can do all that stuff for you.
I've had a lot.
You just hang the phone up.
Ask me that too. I've had a lot of family members and like people ask me that, like, hey, can I get a jersey? And I'm like, bro, you know how much these jerseys are? These jerseys are not cheap. Like, I can't just sit here and say, hey, let me just get one free jersey. Like, hey, that jersey you wearing at the end of the season, that white one, can I get it from you? Yeah, give me $300 and you can have it.
Right. So, hey, Taylor, I have an idea for you, and I'll send you this. I'm going to make you a T-shirt, right? Black T-shirt with white lettering, just two letters on there.
No.
N-O, right?
Yeah.
How about that? That would be epic. So, hey, that would be. Would you like that?
Oh, send it, please.
Okay.
Send the glove life. I'll wear it. Trust me, I had to learn saying no from learning to say no to family and friends. It's kind of made it a little bit easier.
Right.
But that's kind of why I kind of got off a lot of social media. But, hey, man, I rock that shirt. Just like the other shirt you gave us in L.A., I rock that too.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Ross wears that shirt with me sometimes.
With Tony, I can't wear that alone. I have to explain to Tony why I can't.
No,
wear
yes,
that
he
shirt.
can. I tell him that's my buddy.
Yeah,
he can wear it by himself.
So, Taylor, before we leave, I have a question for you. This is going to be a tough question. This is like 60 minutes now. You're in your car right now. Where are you going? I think today's an off day for you. What are you up to today? And what errand are you doing right now in your car?
So actually, I just got done meeting my financial advisor, and it's all good.
Are you rich? Can you retire yet? Yes or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I still got a long ways to go.
But let me tell you one thing before you answer that. The best financial advisor is the bank. All right, go.
That's true. Just met with him. We ate at First Watch, and I'm driving through Fort Worth about to go to the mall, go get me another necklace. I had a cross that broke on me. Other than that, I'm about to go back home and start playing Call of Duty. So
sounds like a tough schedule.
That's cool. Well, listen, also with financial advisors, you should get one that tells you to say NO. That seems to be the lesson of this interview.
Mine does.
But you know what?
They know me really well. They're like, we don't have to worry about you saying no and like spending a lot of money because like you don't spend it. I'm like, exactly. I'm trying to save.
Well, I hope you have a long and successful career where you have to say no a bunch. That's what I wish for you.
Of course.
Well, Taylor, thank you for coming on, man. It was great. And I really appreciate it. I love watching you play for Texas. And you know, Ross and I, that stadium is unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. So, you know, Ross and I, we may make another trip there soon. And just thank you for coming on and spending your afternoon with us. All right, buddy?
And Taylor, say hello to Josh, your traveling secretary. He's a great guy. He took Tony and I to Babes for lunch, and I'm still full from that lunch.
Yeah.
And what do you think about it?
Oh, it was delicious. It wasn't as good as Tony's mom's fried chicken. Tony's mom's fried chicken is unbelievable, but that fried chicken was good, and that was a lot of food.
I love that place. I love that place's chicken fried steak. I love everything about that place.
Yeah, we had a great time. Also, please tell Neil and your third base coach Tony I said hello, and
I will for sure.
And we'll be in touch soon. I'll call you after the interview. All right.
Please do. And I know. Are you guys gonna be coming up when we play the Angels? I know we got them in a week. So.
Well, it's still a little too hot. I'll start sweating like a Hershey bar sweating, and it's got to cool down a little bit in Texas, man. I'll wait till like mid-September, end of the season. All
right. We only got a month left, so.
I know, but like I said, it'll be at the latter part of the season because that's like slave heat out there, bro.
I know. That's why I'm glad we got a roof. Otherwise, I'd be 2 shades dark if we did.
Oh, exactly. You don't want that. They start treating you a little differently. The darker you get.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to stay out of some.
All right, man. So thank you for coming on, and we'll talk soon, buddy. All right.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.